Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GRE out of this book here, practicing to take the GRE General Test, the 10th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it in order to prepare for the exam. It contains 7 real GRE exams. The problem that I'm about to solve is from the very last question exam. You will find it on page number 361, quantitative comparison questions, has the QC. Number 3. As you know by now probably, there are 15 questions, and since this exam is based on the paper and pencil format, and since there are 16 questions, 16 quantitative comparison questions in this section, that tells us that the first 5 are easy, the next 6 are medium, the last 5 are hard. This is only number 3. Easy question means that the vast majority of the people who took the exam had no trouble with it. Medium question means that about half of them got it right, half of them got it wrong. And hard question simply means that the majority of the people got it wrong. That's all. Number 3. A farmer has two. It's important that you have the book in front of you, turn to page 361, read the questions, try to do it ahead of time before you watch this video, and then watch the video with solve the problem with me with the book in front of you. Turn to page 361 and read it to yourself. In other words, don't depend on me reading the questions to you. That is not how we do it. You must have the book in front of you. Question number 3. A farmer has two large plots of land that are equal in area. All right. So he has two large plots. They are equal in area. So here's your area, here's your area. This is plot 1, this is plot 2. And they are equal in area, so I'm just going to use letter A to indicate the area, and I don't have to use a different symbol because they are equal. This plot, the size of this plot is same as the size of that plot. Perhaps I'm making too much fuss out of it. They go on to tell us that the first plot is divided into 16 parcels. Alright, so I'm going to take my first plot and divide it into 16 parcels, 16 pieces. I'm sorry, I feel like I have a sneeze coming in. I may have to turn my face in a second. And then they go on to tell you that the first is divided into 16 parcels with n acres in each. So they're calling this thing the size of this plot, you divide it into 16 parts, and they're calling the size of each section as n. So they're calling this a parcel, this is a plot. And then they go on, so say the second plot is divided into 20 parcels, alright. And they're calling this quantity M. What are they asking? They want you to compare N versus M. Well, it's quite straightforward because let's say for example if A happens to be 80, if you want to keep it simple here, if you want to substitute, if you want to plug in 80 for A, not 80 for A. Why did I pick 80? Because I was looking for some number that's going to go evenly into 16 and 20. So if A happens to be 80, then this is 80 over 16, which is going to be 5, and this is going to be 80 over 20, which is going to be 4. And obviously 4 is bigger than 5, which makes sense. Now I'm going to erase all these ridiculous things here. I'm going to erase all of this things, childish stuff. Look at it, it's very simple, very straightforward. Very simple, very straightforward. We don't have to plug in also because this is too simple a problem. If you have two equal quantities, which is what A is here, this A is same as that A. If you have two equal quantities, then one is divided into 16 parts, one is divided into 20 parts. Obviously the one that is divided into fewer parts, each section is going to be bigger. Each section is going to be bigger than each section from here, because the same quantity is being divided into 20 parts. That's all. The denominator is larger. Since the denominator is larger, this fraction is smaller than this fraction. Just like if I have one here and one here, if I take that one and cut it into 2 parts, and if I take that one and cut it into 4 parts, then one that is divided into fewer parts is going to be more than one that is divided into more parts. That's all. That was the end of number 3. Let's do number 4. Sometimes I explain too much. I do not know why I do that. And every time I realize it too, it's just compulsive. But that's the end of it. Let's do number 4. In the number 4, all we are told is that x is more than 1. That is all we know about x. There is no upper limit. All we know is that it has to be more than 1. There is a lower limit. It cannot go less than 1. And it is more than 1. And they want us to compare x minus 4 versus negative 2. Well, let's start with plugging in numbers, which is the simplest, easiest way to explain things. If you plug in numbers here, if x happens to be, since it's more than 1, let's just put in 2. If x happens to be 2, 2 minus 4 is going to be negative 2. And this is negative 2. The answer in this case would be C. But if x happens, instead of 2, if x happens to be 22, I don't know why 22 minus 4, then of course that is going to be more than negative 2. So now the answer is A. Since we have a conflict, therefore the correct answer is D. Why 22? Because I don't know, it rhymes, I like it. And I could have done it, we could have done it 4 here. And if you plug in 4 here, 4 minus 4 is 0, which is still bigger than negative 2. The answer is A, you see. First time around the answer was C when we plugged in 2 for x, because x is more than 1. So if you plug in 2 for x, 2 minus 4 is negative 2, which is same as this one here, the answer is C. But if you plug in something more than 2, anything more than 2, for example, if you plug in 4 here, then 4 minus 4 is going to be 0, and 0 of course is more than negative 2. I plugged in 22 because, I don't know why, because it rhymes 2 and 22. Sometimes we try to be too cute. Anyway, that was it. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, I provide tutoring services over the internet via Skype. I also tutor obviously face-to-face, and I also provide help over the telephone line. If there is anything at all that I can do to help you in your preparation for the GRE or GMAT, go to my website at www.prep4gre.com and send me an email. All right? Or you can go to www.KeshwaniPrep.com and send me an email from there. Okay? Thanks.